Hello, my name's Celia Bray, and I'm a psychologist and owner of the psychology business called Somatic Psychology. And I would like to share with you a bit about how working somatically differs from working in some other ways. So traditionally in psychology, with cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, a psychologist will work with the mind. So it will work with asking you what's happened, look at particular types of beliefs that may or may not be helpful for you. So you may be having beliefs that I'm not good enough or I can't do this. And they will work with you to try to shift that belief system so that you feel able to do whatever it is that you couldn't do or to help you feel better. So cognitive behavioral therapy and other cognitive narrative therapies are fantastic because our story needs to be told and needs to be heard. And I really acknowledge that. And so working somatically is about bringing in another part of our emotional intelligence, which is what gets stored in our bodies. So everything we've ever experienced, including thoughts and emotions, directly impacts on our cellular construction in our bodies, if you like. And working somatically looks different in a session. For example, if you're sharing something that's happened to you, and I might notice that you start to hunch over, or you might feel like you're just starting to look down or around, or you're just feeling like, so I might ask you, or your breathing might change, and I might ask you, what are you noticing in your body right now as you're sharing this? Because as you're sharing a story, when there's emotions attached, there's a lot going on in your body. And you may or may not be aware of it. So in somatics, you will be invited to become aware of what's happening in here. So we might stop and pause and just check in. What are you noticing in your body right now? Now, in a typical session, I will be giving you strategies about how to check in and notice what's going on in your body. And that can be some mindfulness, some body scans, some breathing work, just to increase your awareness. But I also bring in some resourcing that comes from lots of the somatic therapy processes. For example, Peter Levine's work, Pat Ogden's work, my own experience and training in Gestalt psychology and therapy in motion. So, and also the psychosomatic counselling work that I have been trained in as well. So it's bringing in all of those resources to help you to become more aware of what's happening in your body, but also feel safe and resourced to access what's happening. So I might ask you, what are you noticing in your body? And you might say something like, I'm feeling anxious in my stomach, like there's this little churn as I'm talking about this. Or you might say something like, I can feel my chest. A lot of people talk about their chest and their throat constricted. So then I just invite them to stay with that, not try to fix it, but to stay with that and just notice the sensations just as they are and where they are, how far they go into the body. Are they connected to other sensations, like perhaps tension in your back? And then we just spend a bit of time with that. And then I might say, is there an emotion that is connected to that? And they might say, I feel sadness, or people might not have words, and that's fine too. You don't need language, you don't need to know, but it's just an inquiry. Just having the sensations be seen is actually healing without disconnecting from ourselves, is actually in itself allowing the body to start to show us what's happening and to heal. It's as simple as that. But it also can be helpful to notice if there's an emotion there. And then I might ask, if there's a story that sensation wants to tell you, what might that be? And clients might say things like, I feel unseen, or I have no voice, or I feel trapped or choked. And so then we can start to work with, that's the experience. that was underneath the story that you've been telling. And then we can work with that experience to give you some support so that you can feel like you can be seen and learn, and you can learn how to acknowledge yourself and say, okay, I see you, I feel you, you are, like, we can start working with that. But it's based on the truth and the story that the body is telling us. So that's how it can differ. Can also differ in terms of, I might also say, so how does that sensation want to move? Because all sensations are energy in motion. So some sensations, they may want to constrict, like we either want to expand or contract. It seems to be, or we feel stuck. There's that's sort of repertoire. So the sensation you might have, it's like if I feel like really in the chest, you might just kind of want to bunch up around it and then huddle, and you start to end up noticing and learning, and the sensation can, and you don't need to know in your head. This is the thing, we've got to get out of our heads here. We'll take you on a journey that actually shows you what you need to heal and also helps you to move through it if we can follow that journey through movements. So often we can do some movement work, or we can do more of the sensation work. It just depends on where you're at and what feels comfortable with you. So that's how it differs from a traditional cognitive or a behavioral approach. If you're curious about that and think that might be helpful for you, get in touch and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.